Hello everyone, today's a video long delayed but long anticipated by me. Today is my ranking of all 41 new movies I saw in 2022. This will be going by pretty fast and will not have spoilers, but here we go, strap in because this is a pretty long list. At number 41, Morbius. This movie just it sucked. I mean, nothing was really great. Matt Smith was having fun. Occasionally the action was okay, but the visuals were bad, the acting was bad, the story was bad, and it was just a mess. And the post-credit scene just made it all the worse. Number 40, Pinocchio. You got Tom Hanks as Geppetto. How do you screw that up? But naturally, it just came across as a soulless cash grab. It didn't have a lot of heart, and occasionally it could be fun. And overall, I wouldn't say it was bad. It was just fine. It didn't stand out whatsoever. But I would say it had some moments that were pretty solid. At 39, Hotel Transylvania 4. It had some heartfelt moments, but overall, it was pretty unmemorable and just didn't really stand out to me in any way. And losing some of the original voice cast for Impressionist doesn't really help it a lot either. Number 38, Halloween Ends. Well, I thought the final 10 to 15 minutes and the first 10 to 15 minutes were great. Everything in the middle with the new character, Corey Cunningham, I think, was just messy and unnecessary and was just not what I wanted to see. But the final showdown between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers was perfect. Number 37, The Gray Man. Just bland and basic. It didn't really stand out to me in many major ways. I thought the cast was good. I thought the action was good. But the story and everything else about it was kind of eh. But I would be excited to see other sequels and hope they improve. Number 36, Uncharted. It's just a fine, fun adventure movie. It doesn't stand out too much. Mark Wahlberg is fine. Tom Holland is fine. It's got some cool set pieces. Doesn't stand out more than that, but whenever the movie's just having fun, it's pretty decent to watch. Number 35, Black Adam. This movie feels like it should have come out 15 years ago. The action's cool. The end credit scene, while now sad, is great. Dr. Fate kills it as Pierce Brosnan, and I love the Justice Society. But Dwayne Johnson is kind of bland as Black Adam himself. The story and villains are not great either. And while the movie can be funny and definitely shined with the Justice Society, it could have been a lot better. Number 34, Disney's Strange World. This movie was just kind of basic in story and emotions and characterization. It didn't stand out too much. And while the visuals were great and the music was great and it did have some heartfelt moments, it is far from Disney's best. Number 33, The Lost City. A decently fun and solid Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum, Daniel Radcliffe, Brad Pitt romantic action comedy. It had some good moments, a simple story, but overall it was just a fun time. You didn't need much more than that. Number 32, Jurassic World Dominion. A lot of people hated this movie. I can understand why, especially with the whole plotline about the locust and just kind of a weak story. But seeing the original Jurassic Park cast reunite was amazing. And seeing some great, fun, thrilling action sequences with the new cast as well made for a pretty solid time and a decent ending to this franchise. Number 31, Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore. Story could have been better, and the writing still wasn't great, but I thought the performances were fun, the music was solid, and it was just fun to have a nice little entry in the Wizarding world. And if this is the end of the Fantastic Beasts franchise, I'm happy with it. Number 30, the Harry Potter 20th Anniversary, Return to Hogwarts. Well, this isn't necessarily a movie. I just thought it'd be interesting to include on this list. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was great to see the cast reunite. Some notable people weren't included, but this is just a fun little reunion special that I'm happy I saw, and I'd love if they did more things like this in the future. Number 29, Nope. I know a lot of people had this movie in their top 10. Personally, it wasn't my thing with kind of a jumbled story and some weird things. But when the movie wanted to be scary, it could be genuinely thrilling. I thought all the characters were great, the direction was good, and it was just a fun movie while it wasn't soaring as high as I thought it could have. Number 28, Minions: The Rise of Gru. I know, I'm putting Minions above Nope. I just thought this was a fun, goofy movie, a lot of great, just entertaining, turn your brain off sequences. We haven't had a Minions movie in, 5 years? And I grew up with these films, so even though it was just kind of little kids movie, I had a fun time. I enjoyed it. Number 27, DC League of Super Pets. The movie is kind of ridiculous in concept of having a DC animated movie about pets, but with Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart. But it was a fun time. I liked the whole voice cast. I thought the action sequences were fun. It was a simple story, but it was enjoyable. Number 26, Don't Worry, Darling. I thought this movie was a lot better than some people would have said. Maybe a bit of an iffy ending, but I thought the way it built tension was good. The actors were great. And I just was very interested to see how the story would play out the entire time. Number 25, Elvis. A standout, phenomenal performance by Austin Butler carries this movie. I'm still a little iffy on the direction at points and the use of modern music, but whenever it's showing Elvis's highest points in life, it really soars. Even if at other points it falls into classic movies like this, but musical biopic pitfalls. Number 24, Babylon. Damien Chazelle's second movie about Hollywood is not nearly as good as the first, but it still got great performances, a fun score, great visuals, and even though it can be kind of messy in its messages and jokes, and it's just a little too chaotic, overall, I still think it's a fun movie showing that time period in Hollywood. Number 23, the Bob's Burgers movie. It's simple, it's happy, it's sweet, it's got a cool plot, some great jokes, some fun songs. It is just a good summer family animated movie, and I'm happy to watch it again soon. Number 22, Weird, the Al Yankovic Story. This movie is just what its title promises. It's weird, it's crazy. It's got amazing weird jokes. It is a parody of the musical biopic. Daniel Radcliffe kills it at Weird Al. Evan Rachel Wood is a phenomenal Madonna, and it is just so much fun to watch, even if it is a little too crazy. But that's what you expect when you get a movie called Weird. Number 21, The Adam Project, a simple and fun sci-fi action movie carried by its cast. Ryan Reynolds, Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Garner, and of course, newcomer Walker Scobell are just great. Zoe Saldana too. The action is fun. It's cool seeing this kid version of himself fight with his future version, and the story about fatherhood and loss is very powerful. And so the plot wasn't amazing, but the emotions and the actors really rise this movie up to a higher level. Number 20, Turning Red. Just a good Pixar movie about mothers and daughters and family expectations mixed in with a giant red panda and a lot of allegories about female puberty. It was a fun story. It had some good moments. I loved the pop band. I loved the music. It was fun. I liked it. Number 19, The Banshees of Inisherin. This Best Picture candidate is a movie I enjoyed, maybe not loved, but I thought it was pretty good. Phenomenal performances from the cast, especially Colin Farrell, Brendan Gleeson, Katie Connolly, and everyone did such a great job. They were really funny and witty. The jokes are amazing. And the movie was sometimes maybe a little too tragic for me, but it is incredibly well written and shot, and I have to give it that. It's just a great movie, and I'm happy it got a Best Picture nomination. Number 18, White Noise. I'm still bitter that this movie cut me, but I thought it was a lot of fun. The performances were great. The dry humor was on point, and even though the ending could have been better, I thought everything with the toxic waste event was so compelling and interesting, and I had a lot of fun with it. Adam Driver kills it. Number 17, A Christmas Story Christmas. Now, I didn't review this one on my channel. I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10, by the way, but I thought this was just a fun, sweet continuation to one of the most iconic movies of my life. The whole original cast does a great job. The in-jokes are fun, but it's also got a sweet story about living on the memory of the old man and those classic tales, and I just had such a fun time with it. Number 16, Scream, a great horror movie that parodies the modern legacy sequels with a phenomenal cast, especially with Jenna Ortega and Jack Quaid carrying things and the amazing legacy characters. I had a fun time with it. I thought Ghostface was well written, and this is a legacy sequel done right. It's scary, it's funny, and it's smart. Number 15, Bullet Train. This is just a dumb, fun, action, adventure, spy movie. Phenomenal cast. Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Brian Tyree Henry. Just everybody do an amazing job. It's fast-paced. It's funny. The action is well done. And all the twists and turns just make it so engaging and compelling, and it's hard not to have a fun time. Number 14, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Maybe didn't live up to all of its promises, but I thought Wanda was a great villain. It was cool to see the Illuminati. The visuals were great. The action was fun. And honestly, I just really enjoyed it. It's always cool to see Marvel taking a new turn with horror and the multiverse. Number 13, Lightyear. Not as good as it could have been, but a fun sci-fi film with great visuals, fun action. Chris Evans kills it. And even though the plot twist at the end wasn't great, I still thought it was a cool story, especially with the time travel element. Number 12, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. A movie way better than it had any right to be. That was just a great movie, kind of like in the vein of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's a murder mystery, like detective story with all these classic iconic characters. Andy Samberg and John Mulaney do a great job as the titular characters. It is funny, it is smart, and it's just so cute. And it's just so crazy at times, especially with Sonic. Phenomenal movie. Number 11, The Black Phone, the scariest movie I saw on year, carried by Ethan Hawke's terrifying performance as the Grabber. The movie's got a fantastic premise, is really well done, and had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. Number 10, Thor Love and Thunder. A lot of people hated this movie, but I had a great time with it. It is fun. The whole story with Jane is emotional and well done. Chris Hemsworth is hilarious. And sure, sometimes it went a little too far into the jokes and should have been more serious. But it is hard for me to watch this movie and not just have a blast, especially with a good old-fashioned Guns N' Roses soundtrack. Number 9, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Possibly the funniest movie of the year for me. Just a straight-out comedy. A little bit of action, but so well carried by Pedro Pascal and Nick Cage. They're funny. The jokes are great. I was crying laughing while watching this whole film, and it's something I'd recommend to anyone. Number 8, Avatar: The Way of Water. A fun, exciting, and action-packed sequel that I think lives up to the original with phenomenal visuals, amazing music, and just a fun return to Pandora. It maybe didn't need to be 3 hours long, but I like the new characters and has me excited to see where the franchise goes from here. Number 7, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. An emotional story that I think feels like the best they could have done given the circumstances. The whole cast is phenomenal. Seeing the new Black Panther rise is great. Seeing the debut of Namor was phenomenal. Action was fun. Music was great. And I just thought it was the best Marvel movie of the year. And probably top 3 Marvel movies of Phase 4. And a great way to cap out this current era of Marvel. Number 6, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. An amazing animated movie that works for all ages. With great themes on death and facing mortality. Phenomenal visuals and action. Some of the best villains in any animated movie ever. And of course, just funny jokes and a great performance by Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots and Salma Hayek as Kitty Softpaws. It's fun, it's lighthearted, but it also isn't afraid to be serious. And is just one of the best animated movies I've seen in years. Number 5, Glass Onion: A Knives Out Mystery. This movie is smart, it's got an amazing cast, it's everything the original Knives Out is, and I'd say it maybe even rivals it. Daniel Craig kills it. All the plot twists are amazing. I especially love Edward Norton and Kate Hudson, and just everyone in this movie, just such a good job. I love Helen and Andy. I love the new Greek setting and the way it kind of mixes up the feel. It is just so much fun. Number 4, Top Gun: Maverick. Who would have thought the sequel to an alright Tom Cruise movie that came out 36 years ago would be a phenomenal film that makes over $1.4 billion and is a Best Picture nominee? And it deserves it. It is a fun and gripping story. Tom Cruise returns and kills it. The visuals and action and music are freaking phenomenal and as good as they ever could have been, I think. The story is great and tense, and I love Miles Teller, and is just, oh my gosh, so good. Number 3, Everything Everywhere All at Once. This is at one point my favorite movie of the year, but I still love it and admire it for how bonkers crazy it is with the multiverse and how R-rated it goes. But I think this movie really is at its best when it's down to the heart about family and making the most of your life and what makes it special. Because if nothing matters, then it is our job to make sure everything matters. And Michelle Yeoh, Ke Huy Quan, Stephanie Hsu, Jamie Lee Curtis, James Hong, just everyone just such a good job. Especially Ke Huy Quan as Waymond, who might be my favorite performance of the year. A phenomenal movie, so heartfelt, and just such a wild blast of a ride. Number 2, The Batman, a gripping, tense detective thriller that is one of my favorite interpretations of The Dark Knight yet. Robert Pattinson, Paul Dano, Andy Serkis, Zoe Kravitz, just absolutely everyone kills it. I love the story, I love the plot twist, I love Michael Giacchino's phenomenal score. It is a superhero movie that I think will be remembered for a long, long time, and I'm so excited to see the sequel. But my number 1 favorite movie of the year is Steven Spielberg's The Fabelmans. With a heartfelt story about love and family and art that connected with me on an emotional level in the process of him wanting to become a filmmaker. With an amazing cast, Gabriel LaBelle, Michelle Williams, Paul Dano, Judd Hirsch, Seth Rogen, all give it their all as this breaking apart family that is also trying to push forward as we see basically the origin story of a young Steven Spielberg. It has got amazing direction and visuals and a script. John Williams is phenomenal, and it is absolutely my favorite movie of the year. I hope you guys like this long ranking. I hope you stuck around till the end. And next week is my most anticipated movies of 2023. I'll see you all then.